Our trip to the Alila Ventana Big Sur started at the San Diego airport. We're flying Alaska Airlines nonstop from San Diego to Monterey, which is the closest airport to the Alila that has commercial flights. But keep in mind there aren't many commercial flight options. Luckily, we live in San Diego, and I purchased my tickets through the Capital One travel portal for a total of $600 round trip for my wife and I. I took advantage of the $300 travel credit with the Capital One Venture X, which brought the total down to just $300 round trip for my wife and I. The only way to get to the Alila is by car, so that means you have to rent a car. We rented a Tesla from Hertz for around $210 for 3 days, which was surprisingly the cheapest option for our trip. The drive to the Alila is on Highway 1, which is along the picturesque California coastline, and you drive past beaches and cliff sides and some charming bridges. For those of you that are worried, the road is windy, but the road is spacious, smooth, and there are a lot of turn-off points for great views, and it seems like everyone drives at a very leisurely pace. As you cruise along, the scenery changes into a tree-lined forested road, then you eventually take a left onto the Alila Resort. Following the well-marked signs and past the security gate, you drive to the end of the driveway and arrive at the valet stand. And we're here, an hour later. I just valeted the car and we're just walking to go check in right now. Check-in takes place in the Social House, where we were offered lavender lemonade or lavender iced tea. We were given a property map and reminded that all meals are included 24/7, including room service, but excluding alcoholic drinks. Gratuity is also included as well. This was also mentioned in the welcome email that was sent a week before our arrival. We were then given our keys and then we headed to our room. We're all checked in, walking to our room. This is the key. It's pretty cool. It's a wooden key. We're number 36. Should we go in? This is really nice. It smells very nature-y. Oh, is that a hot tub? That is a hot tub. Let me give you a room tour. We were able to book this room by booking a standard room and applying a suite upgrade award. It was a total of 135,000 Hyatt points for 3 nights. All right, so that was the quick room tour. Now we're gonna go head up to Sur House for a cocktail hour.
Go up the fitness center.
To the right, past to the restaurant. The Sur House restaurant, where all the meals and cocktail social hour, is along the end of a path that's about 0.3 miles long through the woods. It's an easy, leisurely walk. We could have called the resort shuttle, but we wanted to walk and see what it's like. Crunchy, 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 crunchy. It's like 4:45. We're gonna make it to happy hour. It ends at 5. The Sur House is the only restaurant on the property that's currently open. There's an indoor dining room, but everything happens out on the patio. Part of social cocktail hour, they give you 1 complimentary cocktail, and you don't have a choice. They give you their house cocktail called the Marine Layer, which is a citrusy lemon gin based cocktail. The bubble on top represents the marine layer that often moves in the evening. The cocktail is accompanied by truffle salted cashews, and you can order french fries and a charcuterie board as well. To give you an idea of how the property is laid out, on the west side, that's where the social house is located, as well as the meadow pool as well. In the center, that's where most guest rooms are located, and on the east side, that's where the mountain pool and the Japanese hot bath is located, as well as the Sur House. So every guest gets one of these bottles, and there's a bunch of refill stations throughout the property, and you can refill these water bottles. Very pretty. Golden hour here just hits differently. It's kind of like this magical experience because it's so quiet and it feels like you're above the clouds watching the sunset. We then return to the social house to do a bit more exploring. The social house offers amenities such as a pool table and a variety of board games and puzzles that you can borrow during your stay. I bet you these activities are provided to encourage you to take a break from your phone and your computer. This is what the check-in front desk looks like, and another unique thing about the Alila is the vinyl collection. As you saw earlier, there's a record player in the room, and you can come down here to the front desk and borrow any of the vinyls to play in your room, which we absolutely love. Something that's very unique, and I don't think I've ever seen this at any other resort. Later that night, we walked the 0.3 mile path to the Sur House again for dinner, and again, everything takes place out in the patio, and there are heaters that are brought out to keep you warm. This is the menu, and I'll link it down in the video description as well. The menu doesn't change much from day to day, maybe 1 or 2 dishes changes, but for the most part, it stays the same. For the 3 nights that we had dinner, we got different dishes each time to try as much as we can. Taste is very subjective, but we thought the heirloom tomato salad, the crab cakes, and the harvest lettuces were our favorite appetizers. As for entrees, the 2 that stood out for us was the filet mignon.
That's looking good.
And also the pork chops. Both of those tasted amazing. Meanwhile, the catch of the day was very average, and the pastas were straight up disappointing. We tried multiple pastas, but just didn't like any of them. As for the sides, the Brussels sprouts were definitely the best out of all the sides. This is the dessert menu, and all the dessert was beautifully presented, tasted great, and most importantly, not too sweet. As a part of the inclusive package when staying at the resort, you get 1 appetizer, 1 entree, and 1 side, but you can order more sides if you want from what I've been told, and 1 dessert. Non-alcoholic drinks are complimentary, and there is a separate menu for alcoholic drinks, and cocktails were all in the $20 plus range. All the cocktails were nicely balanced, and I can't complain too much there, and since it's close to Halloween, they also had a themed cocktail menu as well.
It's like a worm in your apple.
Oh my gosh. Tip is also included. The only thing you would have to pay for extra would be if you ordered alcoholic drinks. We took the hotel buggy or shuttle back to our room, and getting back to the room, housekeeping already did Turndown Service. Instead of leaving chocolates on the bed, they left a sage bunch with an explainer, and on the second night it was 2 jade stones. I've heard of other people receiving feathers as well, so Turndown Service is a little different at the Alila. Since our room has a fireplace, we decided to take full advantage of that. There are these bundles of firewood and kindle that they provide, and it makes it super easy to light the fireplace. Just place the bundle in the fireplace and light the burlap sack, and you have a perfect fire that burns for up to an hour. You can also request a s'mores kit delivered to your room, which is also complimentary. Good morning. We're gonna go get a workout in, so let's go check out the gym. This is the gym and it's decently equipped. It has 2 Pelotons, an elliptical, and a treadmill for cardio equipment. There's also a dumbbell set that goes up to 50 pounds, some kettlebells, and some medicine balls and core equipment. It's a lot of stuff in a small space, but the gym does extend out to a patio that also has a set of TRX bands mounted for some bodyweight outdoor workouts. Something that's kind of weird is that there's no mats, there's no gym mats, and so like if I want to do crunches or something on the ground, there are no mats anywhere. Towels here are so long, like this long thin towel. Since there's no mats, I'm having to use these towels as a replacement. Decent workout. Let's go see if Tiffany's awake now. Still sleeping. Wake up. Let's go get breakfast. So we're headed to breakfast now, and breakfast is over at the Sur House as well. So we're taking the 0.3 mile hike through the canyon over to the Sur House. I mean, you can order a buggy, but kind of lazy too, so we're gonna take the walk, go get some breakfast. We were seated in this front area, which has the best views, and you're covered more from the direct sunlight, which I think is the best seating. If whether you're coming for lunch, breakfast, or dinner, you should request to be seated in this area. There's also this area to the left that's also covered, which is probably the least favorable seating because it kind of feels far off to the left side and doesn't have that nice of a view. And then there's this open area with umbrellas that has pretty decent views, but it gets a lot of sun. Throughout our stay, we tried a variety of different dishes. We found the breakfast dishes tend to be on the more healthy side, which we didn't mind at all. The best dish, in our opinion, was this French toast. Overall, the breakfast is solid. The coffee was good, although very, very hot. And one thing to complain about that's completely out of the resort's control were the flies or the gnats. They were constantly buzzing around, so they had these fans that you can request to keep them away. We were here in October, not sure if this is a year-round thing or not, but totally out of the resort's control. I don't know, I just wanted to mention that. Again, everything is all-inclusive for our stay, so breakfast and even gratuity is included. We requested the resort car to take us back to our room, and when you request a resort car, sometimes it's these Volvos that pick you up or it's the electric carts. This time, it's the Volvo. So last night we ordered the hiker's lunch, and we ordered it via the text message app. The Alila has a text message service that the front desk tells you about when you check in. You can text them anything, and the response time is super quick, which is very impressive. It takes around 2 to 3 minutes on average for a response, and we use it to request our hiker's lunch and also request our car from valet. Oh yeah, and the hiker's lunch is a small menu that you can order from, and it's a pre-packaged lunch meal so you can take with you hiking. In our case, we're taking it with us golfing. The food is supposed to be delivered to our room at 10 o'clock. Let's see if they actually delivered it. Whoa. Apple, 2 apples, chicken sandwich. This is hummus and pita. Oh, that looks a little messy. Oh shoot, that's a big ass charcuterie board. Kind of had no idea the portion's gonna be this big. There's a lot of food. Oops. So we drove an hour back to Monterey to play a little bit of golf. So we're here at the Pacific Grove Golf Links, which is considered like the poor man's Pebble Beach. So the front nine was kind of boring. It kind of cuts through a bunch of houses, but this back nine is supposed to be much nicer. On the way back from golf, we stopped at the historic Bixby Bridge. I definitely recommend stopping here for photos when you're driving to or from the Alila. So they give you a whole list of complimentary activities you can schedule for, and today we're doing meditation. So this is gonna be our first activity. Let's see what it's like. There are some activities that are complimentary and some are paid. Meditation is complimentary and it takes place in the library. There were blankets and pillows and yoga mats provided, and our group was small, about 6 people. You stare at the ceiling for a bit and then you close your eyes for 45 minutes of meditation.
Do you relax? This is your first meditation.
I can never turn off my mind. It's fine though. It went by quick. It's a quick 45 minutes. Following our meditation and after having breakfast, we walked around the property for a bit. Starting from the west side of the property, there is the Meadow pool area. The pool is a large L-shaped with plenty of seating and umbrellas. The resort was near 100% occupancy during our stay, and this was around 11 a.m. in the morning, so there's no one there. But throughout our stay, we didn't see that many people here, which is great because you won't be fighting for a pool chair or anything like that. This is also the pool where you can order lunch to as well. We didn't get a chance to, but it seems like a fun place to hang out poolside and have lunch. Directly adjacent to the Meadow pool is the Infinity hot tub, which feels like it's right up against the trees. Super picturesque and a great spot to hang out if you don't have a private jacuzzi included with your room. And for all the pool areas, towels are provided, so that makes it easy and convenient. If you walk up the walkway, there's a very nice overlooking patio to see all of the Meadow pool area. There's also a sauna that can fit up to 4 people. Tucked into the back and kind of hidden away are the spa treatment areas. The spa treatment areas are open air and are overlooking the forest area. Walking down the steps to the lower level is the ocean meadow lawn with direct, unobstructed views of the ocean. In the morning light, walking around the property, it just kind of feels magical. It's completely quiet and the sun peeking through the forested trees. It really does feel like you're in a completely different world away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Transitioning over to the east side of the property, this is where the mountain pool is. This pool is clothing optional, but it's not that private. Right down below is the Japanese bathhouse, which is also clothing optional. Male and females have their own separate spaces and the center is co-ed. They call it a Japanese bathhouse, but it just feels more like an enclosed jacuzzi. It is a good option if your room doesn't have a private jacuzzi. We then returned back to the social house to see if the front desk would want to show us what a standard 1 king bed looks like, and this is the 1 king bed room, and to be honest, it's not bad. The room opens up to the bathroom and there's also a patio deck that you can hang out on. But note that there's no fireplace or hot tub though. If you book a standard 1 king bed and don't get upgraded, this is the room you should expect to get. Something else that's pretty unique is that every room comes with a set of binoculars and hiking sticks. Or walking sticks, whichever one they're called. Just outside our room is a trail that takes you around the property. It takes you through the camping and the glamping grounds. I think it's called the Redwoods Trail. So we're gonna go check this out and see what it's like. trail is short and easy, and it just leads you around the front of the property to where the gardens are, which we unknowingly will be returning back to only an hour later or so for our next activity. The second activity we did that was complimentary was wildcrafting, which is essentially taking branches and plants and creating some arts and crafts sort of stuff. I don't know how else to explain this, but Tiffany loves this sort of stuff. We're given a basket and scissors, and we're allowed to go down to the garden and pick what we want. Tiffany's the crafter. I'm just along for the ride. I'm her assistant. That same day was the only day we had lunch at the Alila and back again at the Sur House. Chips and salsa and guac to start, and the chips are fried on site, and the salsa and guac were delicious. I got the double patty smash burger, which I thought was good, and Tiffany got the beef steak chimichurri, which was good, but probably too much for her for lunch. One thing we didn't get enough of while we were there at the Alila was the chocolate chip cookies. If you ever visit Alila, eat as many chocolate chip cookies as you can, trust me. And like all the other meals here at the Alila, everything was included, including the gratuity. So we're all packed, and that kind of wraps up our stay here at the Alila Ventana Big Sur. In the next section, I'll go over my overall thoughts. I see why people love the Alila Ventana Big Sur. It's an awesome resort tucked into the forested hills near the coastline, and all the all-inclusiveness really tops things off. When I polled my Instagram audience what questions they had about the Alila Ventana Big Sur, and most comments were about the food and the service. Overall, I thought the food was good depending on what you got. Of course, taste is very subjective, but I think Tiffany and I are easygoing, non-picky eaters, and we like a lot of food, but some of the food at the Alila was just not that good. Tiffany likes pastas, and she likes all kinds of pastas, and going into the first dinner, she was like, I'm gonna get pasta every single night. Well, after the first pasta dish, she didn't want to get pasta anymore. When it comes to some of these all-inclusive resorts, you kind of have to set the bar a little lower. And I would say the Alila is just slightly above average when it comes to the food and the service. The service was hit or miss. Everything went smoothly for us, but I've heard complaints about the slow and inconsistent service from other people that stayed at the Alila in the past. At breakfast, I witnessed a guy ask for a spoon 4 different times, and eventually he just got up and went to get his own spoon. The meal services are at a leisurely pace, so you can expect meals to take between an hour to an hour and a half. One of our dinners actually took 2 hours, and so this isn't some like 10-course chef tasting menu either. It was just appetizer, main, and dessert, and it took 2 hours. And so I can see where the complaints would come from. So I'm just warning anybody that's headed to the Alila Ventana Big Sur, service can be kind of inconsistent. Another question I got was how many nights is enough for the Alila Ventana Big Sur? In my opinion, 3 nights is probably good enough. 4 nights, what seems kind of like a lot, and you probably get tired of the food options. So is the Alila worth the points? It's a bucket list hotel for a lot of Miles and Points enthusiasts because you can use Hyatt points for the stay. It's a Category 8 hotel, so that means it will cost 35,000 points a night during off-peak, 40,000 for standard, and 45,000 for peak for a standard room, which I showed you earlier, which isn't bad, but it's a lot of points. At least it's an all-inclusive hotel. If you stay at something that's comparable like the Miraval hotels, those are high-end all-inclusive resorts as well, and for double occupancy, it's more points. It's between 57,500 points to 72,000 points per night, so it's more expensive in points. I don't know if I'd return back though. I might book my parents or my in-laws for them to experience it, but I probably wouldn't spend that amount of points to go stay at the Alila Ventana Big Sur again. Some people love the Alila. I had someone mention that they've stayed there 3 times already and they love it. Whereas like, I don't know, I mean, I stayed there once, experienced it. It's time for me to move on. Again, this is just all my opinion. As for how to book this or the most efficient way to find award availability, unfortunately, there are no good ways. You can use tools like Awaze or the built app powered by Awaze, which I'll link up here, or Max My Points, Rooms.arrow, etc. Sometimes those are accurate, but like a lot of the times, they're just not accurate at all because they're scraping data from the hotel websites, and so that information might be old. Sometimes they don't even see the award space at all. So there's also a 2-night minimum award night requirement as well, so you have to stay at least 2 nights. So I recommend just going to the Hyatt website and just searching day by day. Keep running searches until you find the standard award space that you're looking for. Super annoying and tedious, but that's the way, especially if you want to find weekend award availability as well. So if you stayed at the Alila Ventana Big Sur before, comment below and let me know what you think. If you want to see more of my hotel reviews, check out this playlist over here. And thanks for watching. This is kind of a long video. If you made it this far, I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.